Hey everybody, my name is Beck and thank you so much for clicking on my 24-week bump date. As always, I'll tell you how I've been traveling, how Bob's been going, and a belly shot update. If you like what you're seeing, please give it a big thumbs up because that really supports my channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe and tap the bell so you get notified when I upload next. Let's get into it. Holy dooly.
3+.
For this week's upload, it's honestly just a raw and real how I'm going, because when I sat down to write out what my symptoms are, they have pretty much stayed the same, which is really interesting because when I was researching old wives' tales myths for an upcoming video, some of my symptoms are very gender prediction fulfillments, I guess you could say, which is really interesting. So if you haven't watched my previous bump dates and want to know what my symptoms are, then you can click below. There's a baby video playlist, or you can click up here to watch my last upload. It's the basic, normal, same pregnancy symptoms. I'm tired, I have heartburn, I'm really starting to feel big. And it's interesting because, and this is where I'm just sharing how I'm going and how my journey is, I'm to the point where I don't want to be unthankful for how this pregnancy is going, but things are starting to get really real for me in regards to the discomfort, the feeling big, the feeling stretched, the lack of energy, wondering how I'm going to keep juggling all these balls that are currently above my head. It's really hard because after having a miscarriage, I do not take this pregnancy for granted at all. And at the same time, I feel like I'm not allowed to moan and groan like any other pregnant woman would be able to, because I've experienced loss and I never want to experience it again. And for me to say that things are hard, some people might think that I'm ungrateful that I'm pregnant, and I'm not ungrateful at all. Pregnancy is just really hard, and it is a beautiful thing that you can grow a human life and you get to love it and nurture it for 9 months on the inside and then bring it into the world. Like, all of it is an amazing God-given ability, which is a total blessing and a total gift from God. But it doesn't mean that this journey isn't hard. And this week, that's my biggest pregnancy update, is it has been a real struggle. Bub is definitely getting bigger, and that has been absolutely evident this week. Honestly, I feel like Bub's sleep schedule is putting my sleep schedule out of whack, because when I'm working from about 9 till 1-ish, Bub is so active, and this is where that mental mind game is happening, because I don't want Bub not to be active, because that would then be a sign that things are going badly. But it exhausts me when I'm getting constantly jabbed and feeling that movement all the time. And then around that 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock mark, Bub has a sleep, which is amazing. It's just like when bubs are on the outside, you really look forward to when they have that downtime and you get to breathe for a minute, because I feel like that's when my energy levels spike and they pick up again. So it's not until about 2 o'clock that I actually feel awake in the afternoon. It's a crazy world because I'm still getting up early, but then I'm just unable to go to sleep until like 11 or 12 o'clock at night, which is so unusual for me. I love my sleep so much, and this isn't my normal sleep pattern. I would generally go to bed at 9 and I would get up at 6 and I would do life. And I feel like because I'm getting limited sleep every night, and it's not good deep sleep every night because of just Bub waking me up or me needing to go to the toilet, it's all those different things where this is the reality of pregnancy. And saying to someone, oh, it's just getting you prepared for when Bub's on the outside, it's so not helpful, because you are going into this next child already sleep deprived, which is a real struggle. And like I said, it's not me being unthankful, it's just me keeping it raw and real, because I feel like sometimes people don't discuss this sort of things, and that's the reason why there's a negative stigma about when you do discuss these sorts of things, because people then just believe that, you know, you don't want it, which is not true. It's just there are some paths in lives that are harder to walk than others, and I feel like this point on in pregnancy until Bub arrives is going to be a challenging walk for me. Like I said at the start, I don't want to tell you too many of my symptoms because I feel like they're starting to really get gender specific, and trust me, I could be completely wrong and this Bub could come out as the complete opposite gender, but I'm starting to get a feeling about what I am going to be having, which is really lovely because up until now I haven't really been that certain about it all, and it would really be interesting to see if it is true, if it's not true. The only thing I know, because of one of my obstetrician appointments, is heart rate is not anything to go by, because when babies are first conceived, their heart rates are really high, and as you get closer and closer to labor, their heart rate actually drops back into a normal rhythmic pattern. I'm really looking forward to the fact that my ASOS shopping should be delivered this week, because it's all maternity and it's all winter, which is going to be so lovely, because at the moment I'm just wearing my short sleeve maternity clothes with jumpers over the top because I've never been pregnant during winter. I've always been breastfeeding during winter, so I'm really excited to be sharing that with you guys when that delivery comes. I have got new cravings for rice bubbles, and I have them with sugar on top, and that's kind of like my 11 o'clock pre-snack before I go to bed. And then for breakfast I'm eating porridge in the morning, which really seems to get me going until I have my first break or my morning tea break at 11 o'clock. So that's really nice, and I'm starting to find some foods that are keeping me fuller for longer so that I'm not having to snack as frequently. But this week, because of my tiredness, I feel like my heartburn once again was elevated and I started to get morning sickness again, just the nausea side, not actually vomiting. When it comes to how Bub is going, it's really interesting that my apps are starting to contradict each other in Bub's sizing, which I find really interesting. So if you are pregnant, I highly recommend downloading a couple of them just so that you start to get a bigger picture of how Bub is growing and developing. I feel like each app has really good features on it, and there's not one app that I would say has it all. This week I'm going to be showing you the Baby Center app as well as the Ovia app. So for Baby Center, how cute is this? So Bub is currently measuring the size of a corn, and look at that adorable little face. And this is Bub's placement. Which is just unbelievable. I am feeling movement absolutely everywhere. I can feel when baby rotates as well, which is kind of cool, but also a bit weird. Now, for those of you who were born in the 80s and 90s, the comparison for nostalgia toys is a G.I. Joe. Well, I do love that as well. It's very similar to the Barbie of last week's. It's interesting how they've decided to put them in order, but as always, a hand and foot comparison. Me being pregnant is an absolute blessing and a gift from God, and we prayed about this for such a long time, especially after losing Alex last year. And that's the reason why I never want to come across as being ungrateful or that I am miserable about being pregnant. I'm just wanting to share the fact that pregnancy really is a difficult journey, and it is great to have the support of you guys and my friends and family, because I'm not really good in the whole touch department. I find touch sometimes can irritate me, and so to be constantly being touched on the inside 24/7 is a really big mental mind game for me, which is the reason why I am absolutely 100% thankful for the kicks and movements. There are some times where I do want Bub just to have a nap and to give me a bit of relief for a little bit, and then it can wake up and keep going again. But when it's constant and I'm tired and my senses are just really high functioning, it is nice to get a little bit of a break. But there's definite visible movement on the surface of my skin. You can see the kicks, feel the kicks, absolutely no guessing whatsoever. And I feel like the shape of my stomach really has changed this week. So let's get into the belly shot update. As always, if you've liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really does support my channel. Feel free to join our family by clicking that red subscribe button and tapping the bell to get notified when I upload next. But I upload bump dates every Monday and a family slash organizational parenting vlog on Thursday. Guys, you've helped me grow so much over this last year, and I am so thankful because without you, my channel would not be growing. So thank you from the very bottom of my heart. I really appreciate every time you tune in and watch these videos to support us and our little growing family. Because this parenting gig, it doesn't come with a rule book. We only have each other. And I'll see you in my next upload, but stay tuned to the end screen if you want to watch further bump dates.